So how do you price these products, and what is your usual customer demographics? Like an average customer, where would they be from?
Um, so I think we've seen people from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, we ourselves are also surprised sometimes
Mm-hmm.
where we see people ordering from. But to basically give you an idea, we feel like we're poised to be those people who, when people are trying organic products for the first time, when they're just learning about, these environmental issues and want to try to make a change. So either from the health aspect of things, where
Right.
people realize the harms of everyday products that we're using,
Mm-hmm.
or from an environmental point of view. So if somebody realizes, okay, these products test on animals, there
Yeah.
there's a lot of basically chemicals that go in it that could
Mm-hmm.
be
Toxic.
detrimental to the environment,
Yeah.
and they want to remove those chemicals from their own personal
Mm-hmm.
routines and daily routines. So those kind of people do come to us, and the way that we try to price the products is basically in a way that we want to try to make it as inclusive as possible. We realize that not they are expensive products because everything that's in them is natural.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that needs to come from somewhere, and you need to pay the people who are making these ingredients a fair price and all of that. So what we try and do is we try to ensure that they're taken in the correct way, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, and yeah, just to like touch on that
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more. Actually, can you just repeat exactly what
Sure,
was?
sure. So how do you price them, and
Right.
what is your average customer demographic? Like, are they from the upper class, middle class? Like what?
Okay, so
Where do they
then
come from?
give you an idea. See, like for an average product, this is our deodorant, which it looks smaller than what you normally buy from a
Mm-hmm.
store.
Mm-hmm.
But this actually, because it's a solid product, lasts 2 months.
Yeah.
And we price it at $3.99, which
Mm-hmm.
is on average how much someone would spend for deodorant. Like we
Mm-hmm.
divide it by half per month, you're looking at roughly like 150 to 200, which isn't
Mm-hmm.
unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mikhail said, we use quality
Right.
ingredients. We're not trying to
Absolutely.
skimp out on that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we try to think about like how we would use it, how anyone else who's using an average deodorant or popular deodorant
Mm-hmm.
or a popular product that's in the same spectrum, how much they are usually willing to uh, value the product
Right.
at. And
Right.
we just basically try to moderate between achieving that and also between what we actually use, not
Mm-hmm.
compromising completely on what we have in terms of our formulations and development of our
Mm-hmm.
product. So yeah, we take the time to really understand the line, the fine line there, and we're trying to play it closer to that. There are other brands that tend to charge a lot more to
Right.
add brand value to it.
Right.
I mean, we see brand value in our brand. It's not about not seeing that, but part of it is to be able to have a larger impact and a larger
Mm-hmm.
outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, we do think very carefully about the brand like how it's perceived,
Mm-hmm.
and also how much we're willing to like part with what people like
Yeah.
normally the profits that people would see to
Right.
actually try to make this affordable and bring it into someone's hands so that they can actually have a positive impact. That's what we're eventually working towards. So
Mm-hmm.
for us, it's about reaching out to many people. So we try not
Excellent.
to be
Excellent.
very yeah, we don't try to overprice anything. We're
Overpriced.
trying to be a little bit reasonable in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
The sanitizer, so this is 50 ml, which would last about again like 2 months with the regular use,
Mm-hmm.
and that's 2.99 as well. So it's all like reasonable. If we're trying to
Yeah.
price it reasonably, it's not like too out of reach. But like you mentioned, our demographic, we have people who already understand environmental issues,
Right.
who are not really hesitant at all to
To
buy
buy.
our products.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, the challenge that we see that lies ahead for us
Mm-hmm.
is to educate people about what they're currently using,
Absolutely.
what the issues are,
Yeah.
and try to change their mind about it. from firstly their own health perspective
Mm-hmm.
and then like an environmental perspective as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of points that I'll just touch on out here, which the people who buy our products now see the value in our products because of these things, is one in the deodorants. Most people or a lot of people do tend to use antiperspirants. Again,
Right.
it's like this common thing now that if you're sweating, you're like a disgusting
Bad.
person or something. But people have now somewhat forgotten that sweating is actually a very natural part of the
Absolutely.
human body. It's
Yeah.
used to regulate our temperature.
Mm-hmm.
It's used to flush out toxins.
Toxins.
So if you're not doing that, there's something severely wrong with that situation rather than being someone who sweats excessively. So we try to educate people about that, ask them what their current product is that they're using, and then we tell them about the advantages of ours because it's completely non-invasive in that sense. There's no, it's all food grade ingredients, so there's nothing that you're using that is that could be potentially harmful for someone, because if you can ingest it on the skin, it's
Yeah.
even got it's got an even lighter effect.
For sure.
But however, with regular usage and like there's a lot of testimonials from people as well about this, is that the product actually works and it's got a really good long-term effect as well. When you use it initially, people feel like a little bit hard to adjust to it because it's like a solid substance that you're applying rather than like a powder or a spray. And there's a couple of teething problems here and there that I think people normally have, but then once you work past that, which is like within a few days to a week, you can see the advantages of what's happening almost immediately. The amount of the smell of like sweat that you'd normally encounter reduces after long term usage of this product. It just kind of mediates it, because I think sometimes people, when they've been using artificially created products a lot, it tends to affect your body balance with that kind of thing. And even though you feel like you're combating it by covering it up, it actually makes it even worse as a problem. So this actually allows it to kind of moderate itself, and because it's completely natural, your body's just adjusting to its like its starting position, like it's reset itself in that sense. So that's with the deodorants. And with the sanitizers, one of the big things is that we do promote it as a child friendly product.
Okay.
And we
Perfect.
feel like it's important because on our bottle we don't claim that it's got 99.9% kills 99.9% of the germs and the bacteria. The reason being that that might be good in like a hospital environment where you're doing a surgery and you can't have any contaminants around.
Yeah.
But if you do that over and over again on a daily basis, you're basically ridding your body of so many germs that are probiotics, as well as germs that help you develop your immune system.
Absolutely.
Where over time, if you use it, it can really compromise your own health. And this is especially true in the case of children, because their immune systems are developing when they're younger. The body is learning to cope with what's around them when they're younger. So we actually try to tell people and bring about these kind of views on the products that we use and what the drawbacks can be. And like these are things that people find out after years and years of using a certain product. It's like no longer viable or it's banned because they realized that there was this one ingredient that was not safe for use.
Right.
But
Right.
only after like the damage is
Done.
has
Yeah.
everyone realized that. So we just try to stick with a pretty simple funda that we use completely natural ingredients, and I think people appreciate us for that. So I think it's more so people who are looking to make a difference for their own lives as well as the environment. That is those are the people that we try to reach out to more actively.
Definitely, that's awesome. And the immune system thing is really important. In the US, children are not playing outside much more now, and there's an increase in allergies and many immune system disorders because, as you said, like there's this germ phobia. People, even if they touch mud or soil, they want to sanitize themselves or
Like
clean themselves
immediately.
immediately, right? And in India,
Yeah,
it's quite the opposite.
It really is.
So that's an important issue, and there's new research that of the microbiome inside our bodies that there are almost like 10 times more bacteria than human cells in our gut.
In our gut alone.
In our gut alone, So we need to take care of that and be more educated, and I think that's a very good point. Yep. Awesome. So now I want to touch on this idea of inverted quarantine. So basically, last semester I took a course in environmental sociology, and there's this professor named Andrew Saz who's in the UC Santa Cruz, University of California, Santa Cruz, and he has this long essay, and a paper titled "Shopping Our Way to Safety." And basically, the idea is people who are concerned about their health and environment, like you said, they would buy products like these organic food or natural deodorants or eco-friendly sanitizers and organic cotton cloth. Like these, it's what they want because they want to protect the health and do something good for the environment or do something good, whatever the motivation is. But these products often, I'm not talking about Treewear in particular, but often
Sure.
are priced high, and then it excludes a class of people who have money and have some kind of political power. They can make influence change because they have time, they have money, they have influence, and when they buy these products, it kind of makes them feel good. So what he did was he saw that the number of political actions decreased as the buying of these products increased. So the fear is that individual consumer based change might be a diversion from systemic changes, policy changes, because then people might not care about bigger changes. They might just be like content with their individual lifestyle changes. So do you think that's a fear in Treewear products, or
I think that honestly, there might be some unintended consequences of
absolutely,
conscious
yeah,
consumerism, but the way that I see it is that people see the lack of systematic change, so that
right,
there's a lack of like governments doing anything about these sort of issues. So people tend to want to take this kind of stuff into their own hands.
absolutely, yeah,
Now, whether that means that okay, if I feel good that I'm buying a product that is organic and that's better for my health and better for the planet, does that mean that I would not go for a rally to save trees or something like that? I think maybe for some people, yeah, they do use it as an out, but I think that there are some people who are just still as passionate about the
absolutely,
issues,
yeah,
so they will continue to fight for these things and they will continue to ask for environmental change. So I think, yeah, possibly there is some overlap between the two, but I think generally speaking, the people that we have kind of interacted with and stuff, at least in India, the environmental degradation is so large
so
and so
large,
in your
yeah,
face
yeah,
that if you don't start at home, like there's really no hope for you, because
right,
like that's where you start first, and then
absolutely, I agree,
then you
Yeah.
kind of
yeah,
push into this political
for
thing
sure.
and the environmental
Yeah, like
issues
in the
and things like
community
that.
and stuff is
Yeah, like
after you
circles,
started at
home,
home.
community, world.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely agree. Like the fear is just like if people stop at the home level and not just go further, not email their politicians or not get involved in policy
I think
changes
it
or
is a
something.
risk, right?
it,
I
it,
feel it is.
it is a risk, but I think currently the situation that we're dealing with in a place like Bombay or in
Yeah,
India generally is that there's a lot of basic things that aren't in place already.
absolutely
Like,
right. I mean,
so when you look at
yeah.
it from a perspective of an already somewhat developed country,
Mm-hmm.
it's like then we're talking about political change taking
Yeah,
place in this kind of thing. But right now, I
yeah.
feel like it's very far removed from the individual level as well as the political
Political
level.
level, right.
So, in starting a business and this, I mean, yeah, it's definitely valid to consider the effect down the line.
Down the line, yeah.
But right now, we're still battling with a much more immediate problem. For us, it's like if someone buys this rather than buying a spray can which they're just gonna like toss away, which cannot be reused, can't be composted, contains a whole host of artificial ingredients and a lot of effluents coming out of the manufacture of those products.
Yeah.
For them to choose this over that is still a win
Win.
for us in that sense, because
Both, yeah.
we've changed someone's habit from going just a normal route to at least considering those things slightly. So because right now even politically it's there's not much of a focus put on the environment, to be very honest.
Sure,
Like,
sure, I
you know,
agree.
just following the politics this last few weeks and months, there's not been many options for people who want to see some positive
Yeah,
change in the environment
yeah.
within India to really make a choice. There isn't much of a choice. No one's really offering that as a solution. So for everyone, it's about basically trying to yeah, like it's just, even for us, it feels like it can only be done right now on an individual level. There's no options for making a larger change at the moment.
Yeah.
So wherever we see some opportunity, that's kind of what we're acting upon.
Thank you so much for watching this interview. I really hope you liked it and you learned something new. I'm not getting paid any commission by them. This is just an interview done to raise awareness of how a business can influence positive change. If you want to watch the rest of this interview, we'll continue right where we left off, and you can watch those parts here. I really hope you learned something and you like the content, so please share and tap that subscribe button below. Thank you so much again.